there's no sex after marriage?
First time we stopped having sex was because I kept towels on the bed twice. First time she warned me, second time she said no sex for 5 years. People lie when they say there's no physical attraction involved. Physical attraction has to be involved in the beginning. Why do people feel that, you're slutty and all when you have many relationships? We are not monogamous by nature.
I've had
It's
many
rubbish.
relationships. Have you ever sexted? Who would you love to be in bed with? Have you watched porn recently? Hello and welcome to my new show, In Bed with Shanaz. And today I have in bed a surprise. Welcome to the show where we talk about love, sex, and relationships. So in this show, I am asking you questions
Okay.
from my love Bible.
I'll answer before the question. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you these questions.
Yes again.
All right. First question, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Is attraction more than just good looks? Like, have you been, are you attracted to women just for looks or other things also? And I know the women you've been attracted to, by the
See,
way.
I'm a scientist, I'm a social scientist, so I'm glad you asked this question. People lie when they say there's no physical attraction involved. Physical attraction has to be involved in the beginning.
Absolutely.
I can't believe a person, what a great personality, let's get married and all. It's not really happened.
So it's all physical attraction.
No, I'm saying initially it has to be physical.
Initially.
Right?
And then later on, do you still see that person like attractive as you, because you've been married how many years?
No, then what happens is, as human beings know more about each other, there's no way that anybody can be, male or female can be attractive beyond a point.
Really?
Because that's why it's good to have relationships just once or twice.
Or just have like 2 years and move
Yeah,
on to the next.
shorter contracts.
But you've been married like how many years now?
She's influential. They're related. It's a gang-related story, and
But like
they're
15
criminal
years?
activities.
20 years?
No. My son is 21.
Damn, you've been
Yeah.
married like 22 years.
I'll have to Google, but somewhere in that area. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Do you celebrate your
We started
anniversary?
looking alike.
Yeah, that's what they say happens
Yeah.
to couples.
Yeah, it's terrible. Honestly, I wear her shirts now.
You have boobs as big as hers.
Bigger? No, that's not true. That's not true. But we both shave. In the
Really?
beginning, it was only
Do
me.
you use the same razor?
Same razor, but she doesn't like that, so I have to quickly clean it and put it back.
Of course, she
Yeah.
doesn't like
I don't
it.
know why she's so touchy about all that. You
But
exchange
what has
saliva and
kept-
other fluids,
What
and then
has
suddenly
kept
everything
your
is like,
marriage together?
separate bathrooms. I go to my mom. My mom's room has a separate bathroom.
Okay.
I use that because mother's always more forgiving.
Yeah, that's
They say
true.
clean up after you.
Nobody
and all
loves you like your mother.
Nobody.
In the world.
that. Yeah. As a piece of advice to someone who's not married, I
Yeah.
would say, yeah, if you can get separate bathrooms, I've been saying that everywhere.
Separate bathrooms.
Bigger
What
than separate
happens in the
bedrooms.
bathroom?
I think the female bathroom space is very different from the male bathroom space.
So what do? You just pee all over the
We
pot?
pee all over.
Oh my God,
we
you just
throw
peed
the
in the
towel
pot.
wherever. We don't even know anything is and don't care. And when we exit, we slam the door really hard. And the water is always leaking because you don't shut the tap properly.
Oh my God.
And that's our prerogative as men. And how dare you change that? And then the wife comes and
That would really bother me.
you're talking about sex. The first time we stopped having sex was because I kept towels on the bed twice. First time she warned me, second time she said no sex for 5 years. Yeah. made
And
that-
she stuck to it?
yeah, but 7. She's vicious. No, I'm kidding. 6. Mandoli.
But
Yeah.
seriously, there's no sex after marriage?
I can't speak for everyone, but I think sex gets a little dull. The same people also. Why didn't you get married then?
Same thing.
The same. It's the marginal utility of the product also. No?
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean,
Diminishing-
let's speak from
diminishing.
both sides. Let's not say,
Right.
oh.
No,
like-
I think even for women, it's the
Yeah.
same thing, the same
So you
positions,
gotta-
the same.
Well, not just the positioning. There's no novelty factor.
Yeah.
That's one of the. It's a challenge, I would think.
But tell me about marriage. What do you think? What are the good points in marriage?
No, so-
Convince me to get married right
No,
now.
I don't want to get married. I'm just saying
No,
that.
just convince me,
No,
please.
no.
I need to be convinced. My mom is also asking
Why do you
you
want to
to
get
convince
married?
me. Like, so that's what I'm asking you to convince me.
So it's like a mutual fund for us in the sense that we invest in the marriage for companionship post 65, 70.
Yeah.
See, then when you're on a wheelchair and all, you need someone.
But you need someone compassionate and empathetic. Now, what if
No,
the
no,
other
no.
person is
No, you
doing
can't-
great and saying, I'm going to go play tennis?
Yeah, you can't guarantee. You're
That you
hoping.
pick a person when you're in your 20s so that when you're in your 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100s, if you're Parsi, then you have someone taking care of you.
Well, yeah, but also remember, the person in the 20s and 30s has one personality.
Yeah.
After being together for 40 years, the empathy for you may not be there as it is for the rest of the world.
Exactly.
So while they'll help some other old people or people with issues, they won't necessarily.
But they'll
help
be
you.
old too, and so there's no
No,
guarantee.
but one is always better than the other now.
Yeah.
If you look at any couple out there, there's always
One is
one
always-
who's doing
or
physically
one is
better or
always
mentally
better.
better or
Very
mentally actually is more important.
Very true. Very true.
I saw my own dad go.
I mean, this is the
into
only
decline.
reason I sometimes feel like I need to get married. And my mom keeps telling me,
Okay.
who's going to take care of you when you're old? And I'm like, yeah,
No,
who's
but
going
you
to take
can.
care of me?
Shana, stop hinting. I'll figure this out.
Will you
under
take care of me?
Under Zoroastrian law, you're allowed a second wife in the suburbs. Only you can't come to South Bombay. Huh? And don't call on Aisha's direct line.
Have you watched porn recently?
It's a bit too much. Yeah, on the way here. How did you know? I mean, what do you do? Killing time in traffic. Yeah.
But you were talking about marriage, why people should get married, and then you deviated.
No, I said there's some good points.
Yeah, so the good point is, number one, you have someone to take care of
Yeah.
you when you're old.
Yeah.
That's it. You stopped at one point.
Also, as you age, people irritate you more.
Yeah. You see older couples, they're constantly fighting with each
Yeah,
other.
and everything you become crusty. It's just the way it is mostly.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that happens.
Spoiling marriage for everybody.
No, please get married. I mean, India needs more kids.
Seriously. So, okay, next question. Once the unattainable becomes attainable, does love end? I know.
What do you mean? You mean like
Like if you're
self-actualization
into
situation?
like some girl, and then what you finally get her.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
yeah,
were
yeah.
saying
Okay,
that
okay,
you're saying that
once
happens
you
with
put out a
everybody.
girl, not men.
Yeah.
But see, when guys who put out chicks and then
Not
have no,
guys, girls, guys.
the
would-
girls, guys, whoever. Once you reach the fruition of the
Yeah.
relationship, which is not just purely having sex, which is whatever you've dated
yeah,
for some time and all,
got to know
and then-
each
and
other,
then
asked
about-
all the questions possible.
yeah, all that. So then you reach
Yeah.
a rut after a point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that means that, frankly speaking,
Yeah.
that's the end of the relationship.
That's the end of the relationship.
And
So why do
most-
people stay after
But
that?
why is it personal?
But why
It's
do people
normal.
stay after that?
I don't know. That's why
to
you have,
take care of each other when
No,
they're
that's why it
70,
becomes
80.
toxic. I've been telling you, Shanaz, get rid of these men faster.
Oh.
Why do people feel that you're slutty and all when you have many relationships? We are not monogamous by nature.
I've had
It's
many
rubbish.
relationships.
You've had many relationships. I'm proud of you,
I
my
wrote
dear.
a book about it.
Yeah. I think you're very normal.
Have you ever been in love, like crazy, madly?
I
Crazy,
only
like-
been in love.
Really?
When I was in Xavier's, when you were in college, I was falling in love every day. I think now.
No. But that love where you were like
Baba, I've chased so many-
absolutely crazy in love.
You don't want to know what I've done?
Yeah.
I'm quite the romantic.
Tell me.
Have you heard the Beatles song If I Fell?
Yeah.
There was a girl in South Bombay who I liked. I took 6 boys with 2 guitars. I was 18 years old. We played at 10 in the night under a window.
Shut up. Can you
know?
sing a little?
And if I fell in love with you, would you promise to be true?
Oh my
and
God.
help me understand with harmonies.
Wow.
She sang beautifully.
And then did she jump out of the window?
No, but she smiled. And until then, she wasn't even talking properly. And I know she just smiled and her exact words were, Cyrus, what do I do with you? From up there. I mean,
How sweet.
it was a winner.
But did you guys then get
We
together?
did, but not immediately. But I know I made an impact.
Wait, that is crazy. I never knew the story.
No, no,
and then what? Then you guys.
So I'm saying we only do this when you're in love.
Yeah.
You don't really do this
So there's
kind of
no
thing.
logic. That's my
There's
my
no-
next
no, to
question. Is there
organize-
any logic in love? Like, why do you think you fell in love with her?
I think.
What made you fall in love with
I don't
that
know, but
girl?
I think you go into a subconscious behavior pattern. You don't become clinical and careful.
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
go with. You're much more spontaneous. You think of these
Yeah.
things. They come. It's like an art.
Correct.
Being a lover is an art.
Yeah.
So the loveriness comes out.
Then what happened with this girl?
But that's so long ago. Then whatever. So we had the the time and then.
So unattainable became attainable, and then love
Correct.
ended.
Correct. The marginal utility of product ended, and there's no point to service this product anymore from either side.
Right.
And it goes on.
And that's it.
Yep. That's the story.
Do you think you can get many things from one person? Can they be like your emotional companion, your mental companion, your physical companion, everything, shared values,
I'm the
everything,
opposite.
everything?
In my day, or well, sort of our day,
Yeah.
Mills and Boons kind of,
Yeah,
romantic.
yeah.
Or, all
Guy.
these Bronte sisters and
Yeah,
Heathcliff
yeah.
is your role model and all that. So I think after some time you've got to understand there is no such perfect male.
There is
or female.
Or female.
Okay.
And you don't get everything from one person.
No, and you're stupid to think there is because
Yeah.
it's like God.
Yeah.
You look like a God concept in your lover.
So what is the solution? Do you look at
Have-
somebody else for your mental companion, someone for your emotional companion, someone for your physical? So are you suggesting you have different people?
No, I'm saying that if you're a heterosexual person, I'm very keen that people have relations with other girls. Well, I'm speaking for men, with other girls. Not sexual, because that's obviously now not allowed.
So have a lot of friends.
Yeah,
basically.
female friends, because it's different dynamic.
But I have male friends and female friends, and you can have
but
both.
even with female friends, there has to be a little flirting, otherwise they're not really friends. But then that's really strange, because I think
have
that's a
friends.
lie.
I have male friends who have no flirting. So
Really?
you're saying that you all your female friends you have a little flirting? Not true. We don't flirt.
But we are hardly friends, we hardly meet. And I've been flirting, it's just not working. No, okay, she's not flirting then, but just a little bit of. It's got to be because it's more fun with the opposite for heterosexual people. I don't want to, lobby for others, but it's more fun when it's the other gender. And with other gender, for that little spice, you've got to be like a teenager, sort of.
Right.
But it's just everybody knows in civilized society you don't cross any lines and you do this much and no more.
Yeah. So you've never crossed any lines.
If you're going to do that,
in
it's got to be
25
worth
years?
it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's got to be worth it. That's it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just stupid. It's like
But how
two
do you
minutes
know
of
it's
pleasure
gonna-
for a lifetime of misery.
Have you ever sexted? Like, do you know
Sex
what
conversation.
sexting?
But you know,
Or text?
by the time this sexted thing started in the last 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
it's a little difficult for me to start going that far. But in jest, 100%, lots.
Really?
But to actually have a relationship which the teenagers of today have, where they can
Yeah.
do all that and send
They have-
pictures of their body parts and all this.
Snapchat, have you heard of
all your
Snapchat?
God, no. I
Where
mean,
they send pictures and
listen,
they disappear.
I'm an old-fashioned guy from the 80s and 90s, and romance was very different. You wrote a
Yeah.
letter, and
Yeah.
a letter with bad poetry, 6 lines, A, B, A, B, A, B, rhyming scheme.
Yeah.
And the girl would, if she didn't like you, would be creeped out. You know?
So tell me something. Now, since we're in bed, who would you love to be in bed with?
You?
No, besides me.
But when I was very young, I had a big crush on Rekha, the
Okay,
actress,
okay.
Zeenat Aman, and Parveen Babi. But I was like just 11, 12 at that point.
Okay, so let's talk about deal breakers.
Our marriage nearly broke over my Rufus Nova, my German Shepherd, but she didn't let him on the bed. And I was like, you can't not let my dog on the bed.
Oh, that was a deal breaker for you.
Yeah, I was like, no, I
Oh,
want the
deal
dog.
breakers are important.
Yeah,
Do
so
you,
for 6 months we didn't speak.
But
Because
you can't have sex in front of the dog.
why?
You can?
What are you talking about? Dogs have sex in front of me all the time. What's your mind here?
I don't
We
know, I
have
would feel
enough problems in
conscious.
India. Why would you be conscious? Aren't you in the moment? Just be in the moment. That's why shorter is better. 1.5 minutes. You can really be intensely in the moment and then play with your dog and watch the game.
What are
I
the
got
other
kids.
deal breakers?
Oh, this is a normal thing. I really like a complete racist or casteist, and those kind of
Yeah.
things turn me off a lot.
Would
I
you-
had one
would
girl,
you- would
I had
you-
one girl saying, "Oh, he's so black," and all that. It just turns you off a little
Turns
bit.
you off.
Hey.
What about if they have different political? Like, what if your wife had a
No,
completely
that's fine.
different
Political
political
views, I don't
view?
have a problem with. I think people in a democracy should have different political
Yeah,
views.
okay.
I don't know.
So if she votes for one party and you vote for another,
I
that's
think that's
okay.
great. That's a sign of democracy. What's wrong with that?
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think everybody's looking for somebody they can have fun with and be a child with. So they're looking for somebody who they can be a child with and grow old with.
Yeah. Also, being a child with
When they're
there's
old.
different from childish and childlike.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Not childish.
Yeah, childlike.
Definitely not
Yeah,
childish.
just
but
enjoy-
childlike,
Yeah,
enjoying
yeah.
things, doing things together.
Yeah.
So Cyrus, what are your triggers? Like, what will completely upset you?
So there was one trigger which finally came to my head,
Uh-huh.
which happened just yesterday, as I remember.
Uh-huh.
So my daughter and me like to order food, and we plan it. Okay, so somebody told us about this thing called, I won't take the brand's name, something rolls. And the rolls were this thing, and the other guy was telling us about it at the breakfast table at the gym. So she called me after school and said, let's get this roll. So I asked everybody, do you want rolls, do you want rolls? My wife always says, no more food from outside, no more wasting money in the usual lecture. The rolls come. I put the roll in and I go into the kitchen to make my sugar-free drink. I'm a recovering diabetic and I hate water. I'm against water. Water's overrated.
Oh,
I'm bringing hate water. And then I put the glass. As I put the glass, she's eating my roll. But I asked you specifically, and you give me a lecture about wasting money and eating outside and the food gets collected in the fridge because nobody's eating home food and that me and Maya, and I'm like, you said all that and now you're eating my roll. And that really triggers me.
but
you know,
was she just having one bite of
she
it?
just took the roll. She was eating the roll. She was in the act of eating the roll, and I'm holding the glass like a loser here. I'm like, my roll. And
Oh
Aisha
my
does this a
God.
lot.
So that is
But-
your
but-
trigger. If
Yeah,
someone
because-
eats your
No, the
food,
hypocrisy.
yeah, if they say, I don't want it, and then
we
they
plan and you put us down for planning because we love our food and we plan our food and all that. Then you get the money thing, then the waste of food and how the home food gets wasted and is lying in the fridge and all that.
Yeah.
I get all this all the time.
Okay, what about when you guys want to watch, say, a show or a movie or
Yeah,
IPL
so
or
I talk
something?
about separate screens for sure.
Really?
because-
You don't watch the same thing
Oh,
together,
don't.
like
I've told this
cuddling
so
up?
many times. No, you don't understand. The wife is an artistic person who likes French cinema. I like to see a lot of people die in the film or lots of jokes. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a Terminator
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
bang, 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 bang.
Right.
I like
Or
Narcos
Seinfeld or
and
something.
Seinfeld or something like that. You know, I'm pretty clear about my choices, and she
And-
likes New Age cinema, Korean, Iran, that Majid. They're all great guys, but not for me. You know,
Okay, separate bathrooms, separate screens,
Done.
separate food, separate roles.
separate mother-in-laws. Oh, that's there.
Yeah. And separate bedrooms or no?
Separate bedrooms, I think you'll start becoming strangers.
Yeah.
And you've got separate bathrooms, you've got space. You've got to have space.
Separate beds.
And
Because
also,
I
you need
actually
money for
don't-
separate bedrooms.
For me,
Shana.
like
We're
a-
not rich like you.
No,
Huh.
shut up. I have one bedroom.
But you don't have anybody here.
Yeah, I don't.
I have a bigger house, but I have 32 people. Come on.
I think what the takeaway from this conversation is one is that you either choose to be married or you
Yeah.
choose to be single.
Yes.
And there's no judgment.
It's a channel thing, like swimming.
Yeah.
You take this channel when you swim, you take that channel when you
Yes,
swim, right?
exactly. That's it.
If you cross, you're disqualified.
So according to Cyrus, you either choose to be married or you choose to be single. You choose sides and you don't cross
Well,
over.
I don't know if you
so
choose.
you can't
Life-
even.
life
so what
chooses.
about? But I've seen a lot of married people who get divorced and are really happy being single.
Yeah.
That also happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's also true, right? It didn't
Yeah.
work for them, so they went
Yeah,
back to this
yeah.
channel.
And then they're okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody's really happy to be married, but some people are really unhappy to be married. That's what happens. Yeah. I don't know about your. Now you tell us your tribe. Are you really happy to be Shanaz the singleton?
I'm happy to be single, but I like to have a boyfriend.
No, you said many boyfriends. It's very orgy sounding. Now don't change it. Because all the dirty men out there are going. "Urgh." Yeah.
No. I like to have one
Many
boyfriend
boyfriends.
at a time.
Yeah.
I like to
Wow.
have one boyfriend at a time.
Like 7 days in the week kind of thing?
No.
Oh.
I have like 2, 3, 4, 5 year relationships.
Okay.
And then
It's number thing.
and then something happens and we break up and
Yeah.
then
But you also have the separate house
then I'm
thingy.
sad and
But they
then-
don't live here.
I do like separate houses and
Right.
when we travel I do like to have even separate rooms because I just like that
Yeah.
I like
Oh.
having my own space.
I think that space is important.
Space is
Yeah,
important.
People should understand.
So thank you for joining me
Oh.
in my bed, Cyrus
Oh.
Brocha.
Righty?
Ready to go back in?
Do I get my privileged moment now?
No.
This one is for the Parsis. Geo Parsi! Come on, Shanaz.
Thank you. And
You-
that's all
have you
we
taken-
have for this episode.
Have you
in bed with Shanaz.
But have you taken a Mobizox painkiller?
Oh,
Okay,
no.
come.
Okay.
Wow. That's about as long as I last.